Hello, it's Father Samuel with a word of hope for Tuesday in the 9th week in Ordinary Time. There's something that, as the fun uncle, I have started to kind of sadistically enjoy, perhaps unfairly so, given my position as a vowed celibate. And it's watching the dynamic of my niece and nephews with my sister and brother-in-law and my brother and sister-in-law. It's a classic scene. They're kids, they like to have fun, and watch as the patience of the parents begins to grow thin. Stop that. I told you to stop that. Don't make me start counting. Eventually that patience runs out, and there might be some moment of explosion, some moment of reprimand. It seems like an almost universal human experience to be a child and to be reprimanded by a parent or a teacher or a friend whose patience has finally worn thin. And while those lessons are very important to who we are as human beings, sometimes they can affect our faith lives in not so great ways. That we learn a lot about who God is based on how we were raised, and sometimes that image of God needs a little bit of a correction. Does God's patience run out with us? Does he ever get sick of us and say, 25 times you've been in this confessional line confessing the same thing. This time, no. You're done. You're grounded. Well, St. Peter, in our first reading today, gives us a little bit of insight into the reality of God's patience. He writes, "Therefore, beloved, since you await these things, be eager to be found without spot or blemish before him at peace. And consider the patience of our Lord as salvation." Consider the patience of our Lord as salvation. We know that God sent his Son into this world to redeem us, to offer to us salvation. Salvation which we receive through our baptism, through our life of grace, our relationship with him here on earth, our growth in virtue through grace and the sacraments. Salvation which we receive again and again each time that we sin and we come forward to him and ask for his forgiveness in the sacrament of confession. A salvation which he would put nothing in our way to block us from receiving. Now, if this is true, and if the patience of the Lord is salvation, then indeed it cannot run out. Sure, we should try to be without spot or blemish before him. Sure, we should always work on growing in virtue, receiving the grace we do receive and putting it to work in our lives. But there is no end to our opportunities to try again. God doesn't give up on us, and we ought not give up on ourselves either. So lean into the patience of God as you work on growing in grace and in virtue, and know that he loves you and wants you to love him in return. And God bless you, and have a good day.